Welcome back to Hot Roster Today. Gary and Cam still with you. Now talking about the Hot Roster Today card, which will be available tonight on HotRoster.com, which you can play online, on your Android, on your iPhone. Download the app, guys, at HotRoster.com. So, Cam, this is a football card with some Thursday matchups on the table here. And let's get to maybe the marquee guy on Thursday night. Matt Ryan against Andrew Luck. Both of these guys have fantastic matchup. Luck gets half a fantasy point in this matchup. Tampa Bay coming off that 513-yard passing yards allowed game to Derek Carr. Seems like Matt Ryan's in a real good spot here.
He is in a real good spot. Also a revenge game, too. For some reason, the Falcons don't play well against Tampa Bay. It's been going on for a while, but even in week one, that game, Ryan was 27-39, 334, Gary, and a couple touchdowns. I expect bigger and better things. Not impressed with Andrew Luck, but that was against the Chiefs. I thought he might do a little bit better last week because he was at home, but it's a situation where Matt Ryan has just been fantastic week after week after week, and I know Luck has a better matchup because against Green Bay, you're not going to run, you're going to throw.
Yeah.
But I still think Ryan can carve Tampa Bay, so I kind of lean Matt Ryan.
Yeah, these guys are actually quarterback 1 and quarterback 2 right now in overall fantasy points. Ryan is 1 with 180. Luck comes in at 172. I wanted to kind of lean Luck. Like, there's a couple factors there.
Luck has 209 rushing yards and a touchdown, too. It makes me think, I can make a case for this guy.
There's like 2 or 3 free points there with Andrew Luck on the ground, but I think the matchup's too good for Matt Ryan. And the one concern I have here, too, is just I know Luck has gotten it done all season long with a terrible offensive line. Like, we know that's a given at this point, that he's going to have a bad offensive line. But right now, DVOA has them as the worst pass-blocking O-line in the league. Green Bay has the 4th highest adjusted sack rate. They get pressure on the quarterback. And I know
even with their injuries.
Exactly. So I feel like this could be a game where it's just too much pressure for Andrew Luck. That kind of scares me away, just winning. The domination Green Bay could have at the line scares me away a little bit. So give me Matt Ryan and the safety of that against a sieve of a Tampa Bay defense. Talking about Tampa Bay, let's talk about their quarterback. Hopefully he can keep that D off the field. Jameis Winston is a 1-point fantasy favorite against Phillip Rivers, who draws the Tennessee Titans. Do you go with the veteran or the kid here?
You're always looking for Rivers as a pooch and getting a point, but I really like what Winston has done. 5 touchdown passes in his last 2 games too, Gary, and so he's been fantastic there. Rivers throws for more yards, but Winston has more touchdowns. This is another thing. These aren't your dad's Tennessee Titans. They're actually, their defense on both sides of the ball have been better. Phillip Rivers at home against Tennessee. I like Winston's matchup against Atlanta a lot more. That's why he's the favorite in this matchup, and he's a hotter quarterback. A lot of those mistakes, though, Rivers had 3 picks last week. Those balls were also tipped and dry. So we can't really say that from a negative perspective, but I think Winston's just a guy on the rise, and he's hot, and I'm going to ride the hot hand in a great matchup.
You have basically opposites of the spectrum here at quarterback.
Yes, well, one man who likes to move and throw, and then there's cool Phillip Rivers.
The cool Phillip Rivers just basically does everything right, and I feel like if I'm getting a point with Phillip, it's hard to ignore at this point. And the one thing that scares me about Jameis, and I know that last week it was rectified a little bit, and also with the just complete conundrum they have at running back entering this week, you'd assume they want to throw the ball a lot in this contest, but right now, I mean,
they're kind of putting the reins on him.
They've had the 4th lowest pass rate the last 3 weeks, so they're putting the reins on a little bit, and then it's a scary situation because Jameis is not a guy who is someone who puts up a lot of points with it per opportunity. I mean, right now, 0.41 points per opportunity or points per drop back. That's 17th in the league, so about middle of the pack. But if he's not getting a ton of volume, I can't really trust him all that much because, like, his dropbacks this season, or his passing attempts, 269, that's like 16th. And also only Fitzmagic has a lower completion percentage on aimed throws than Jameis. So if Jameis isn't getting like 50 throws a game, you know he's only going to complete 26, 27 of those.
Well, Gary, you bring up good points.
I feel like I want to go Phil.
You know what you get with Phil.
Exactly. It's safety. You know what? I'm going to take the safety of Phil, and I'm going to get the point, too. I'm going to take Phillip in that match. Let's do some running backs now, and actually, arguably, 2 of the best running backs in the NFL. Ezekiel Elliott against Le'Veon Bell. Bell is a 2.5-point fantasy underdog, which, if you told me coming into the season, would seem a little crazy, but the matchups here obviously are key. Zeke gets Cleveland. Bell gets Baltimore.
Zeke Elliott is a favorite for a reason. I don't care if he's a rookie. Gary, and we looked at that game against the Eagles where they played a great stout defensive game, and he still puts up crazy numbers in a bad game. Elliott, 4 of his last 5 games, he has 15-plus fantasy points. He gets the rock. Le'Veon Bell will too, but you brought up a great point earlier on the show. This Pittsburgh-Baltimore situation on the road is it doesn't ring as true.
Iffy,
At home, you'd like Bell to do even better, but Elliott's a favorite for a reason because he's going to get volume and he's going to produce. And even when he doesn't score touchdowns, he's getting 140, 150 total yards. Sign me up with the rookie. I'm going with Ohio State Buckeyes and Zeke Elliott.
I think I got to go with Zeke too.
It seems crazy. We got to win by 3, Gary, but we can do it.
I think we can do it. And I think the thing too to factor in, we always talk about this, is that HotRoster is not PPR, and that would hurt Bell a lot more than it hurts Ezekiel Elliott at this point. In fact, Le'Veon Bell, this is just how crazy and how integral he is to this offense. Right now, he is 4th in the NFL among running backs in targets. He's got 36 targets. He's played 4 games, Cam. He's averaging 9 targets a game.
You said it. He's 245 yards receiving in those games.
It's crazy.
It is.
It's crazy.
He's like a wide receiver.
And the yardage is nice, but if I'm not going to get that point per reception, it's harder for me to take Bell in this matchup. And I mentioned how good the Ravens defense has been this season, specifically against the run. DVOA has them as the #1 run defense in football. So
Elliott versus Cleveland, it's like a Thanksgiving turkey. Carve. Yeah. It could get ugly.
It could get ugly. Although I will say Bell, touchdown expectancy, has yet to score a touchdown this year.
Yeah, that's
going to change pretty soon. I hope it doesn't happen this week because we're on
how about the week after?
Zeke. Yeah, the week after. Wait on this one a little bit for us, Bell. Before we get out of here, Terrell Pryor Sr. against Doug Baldwin.
I love this new junior and senior routine. Sorry.
Will Fuller the 4th.
I know.
There's a bunch of them out there.
There is.
My concern right now, and I know that Pryor kind of dried up completely in the second half in that game, but I like the fact he has Josh McCown back. They're taking on Dallas. Baldwin gets Buffalo on Monday night.
He had 13 targets over 101 yards,
but
Gary
they're
and
never
Pryor.
in the end zone.
I know.
Well, Pryor, but for
Pryor.
Baldwin.
No. Baldwin's a major concern. This guy's doing nothing.
Yeah.
Have you seen his last games? 31. 69, 51, no touchdowns. Doug Baldwin has not scored a touchdown in 4 games. That's what he does for the Seahawks. I watch this team. This is not the same offense. This is not the same Doug Baldwin. I am very concerned, even with the way Russell Wilson looks. I bet against him on every matchup in HotRoster. So, no, I'm going with Terrell Pryor. Call me nuts. It's better. He'll get it done.
I think you have to go with Pryor. And like you said, I don't even think it's about
I get
Doug
fired
Baldwin.
up.
I think it's about Russell Wilson. Right now, there are only 2 teams averaging under a pass touchdown per game, Seattle and Baltimore.
Yeah.
There is something wrong with Russell Wilson.
There is something. I'm watching the Seahawks every single week. They're not the same team. And remember when Russell Wilson and Baldwin were on the same page? It was like, it was insanity. People were losing their minds in fantasy. Now it's the complete opposite.
It started around week 9 last season, so maybe that's the elixir that cures. But I'm not buying in this week, and I don't think Cam is either. When we come back on HotRoster today, we're not going to break down an NBA card. We're going to start breaking down some players that will be available to you tonight on HotRoster. Talk about their over/under for point total averages so far this season. So stick around on the show.